Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mikkel Show. Yay! The crowd is going wild and I am flying. I can't seem to get down again. There we go. That's how great this show is going to be. We're off to a flying start. That was a lame joke, but I don't care. So, the different parts of the show is, as always, current games, up close and personal, movie of the week, and what's the last one? Spotlight. I forgot almost. By the way, I found my pen, and I lost it again. I don't know how that is possible. My pen was for some reason under my bed. I don't know how the hell it got there, and I must have put it somewhere. But I don't know where I put it. Put it somewhere. I remember putting it somewhere and saying, "Here, now I'll not lose it again." And now I can't find it. I really, really need to learn to be more focused. Yesterday, I was putting on my shoes and then realized I hadn't put on pants yet. So yeah, that's how focused I am. But or maybe I should just buy more pens. I mean, it's not something you do. You don't buy more pens, do you? I don't think I ever bought a pen in my life. Maybe that's just me. I just get them. They just turn up. Sometimes you like, here, have a pen from something free or something, or you find a pen somewhere, or someone says, here, borrow my pen, and you never give it back, and you forget to give it back, and then it's just yours. If they really wanted it, I would give it back, but it's just a bloody pen, not a bloody pen, but a pen. And I really need to find mine. I did a few notes today with a multicolored pencil I found. I don't know where the hell I got that from, but it's multicolored, so it looks kind of weird. Uh, but anyway, let's move on with the show to current games. And there's actually a lot of things to talk about in current games today because I've started new games. I have some things about games I'm going to talk about, and some other stuff about stuff, and more stuff. So, let's get started. Still playing Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm like 56% done with the game. It's a pretty fast game. It's not. I could have been done with it, but I've been playing other games and I've been doing other stuff. If I had played like every day during the last week, I probably would have finished it. But I don't know. I like to take some breaks from gaming sometimes. So I do have some complaints about Batman Arkham Asylum, and that is it's clearly a direct port of the console game. I don't know which console it came out for maybe multiple consoles. But yeah, they have multiple. The buttons do multiple things, which is just annoying. Like for instance, the space button is used for running, but it's also used for jumping, which means that if you want to jump out of the way like that, you have to double tap space while holding the directional. That was a weird noise. Like holding the directional key in which direction it does, you want to go, which means it half the times it's really annoying to do, and they could easily have done this differently, like putting the shift key as to run and then space for jumping. Then you didn't have to double tap space. That would have been the easy thing, but they could have done that for the PC version. That's one of the good thing about PCs. You can actually have more buttons. You don't have to have buttons share the same function. Another function of the game is the right mouse button. It does a counter attack, which is pretty cool. You can do a counter attack if you're getting attacked, but if it also serves as the tool you're holding. That can be your grappling hook, that can be whatever. And which means if you do the counter attack a little too early, a little too late, instead you will use the tool you have in your hand and just waste time during the combat. Yeah, once again, have it another button. That's the you. It seems lazy and cheap to not make the game PC friendly and just say, "Oh yeah, we'll just do it the same way we do at the consoles, but we PC players actually have the advantage of having more buttons. And some would probably, the console players would probably say, yeah, that's not an advantage, that's just more confusing. No, it's not really. We PC players have a bigger brain. We can remember more keys. Sorry. Didn't mean that. I have nothing against console uh, players. I do, however, have something against lazy ports of console games. I'm grateful that we get the port. Don't get me wrong, I am. Rather have a lazy port of a game than none at all, but put some effort into it, please, game developers. Also, I've started another Big Fish game. This is another one. This is a direct sequel to the last Big Fish game I played with Dana Nightstone novel. This one is called. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Death Under a Tuscan Sun or something like that. Pretty fun so far. I had actually planned on waiting with another Big Fish games, but for some of you might know, yesterday, not yesterday, Saturday, I had a splitting headache. I mentioned that in some of my videos Saturday. So, and I really wanted to game, but Batman wasn't really the best game to do while you're having a splitting headache. So I decided to get another one of those Big Fish because those are just laid back, casual gaming. So, and I'm like 2 chapters in, and it's so far really fun game. Great story, great puzzles as always. And finally, my Sunday bonus video, Crimecraft. I've started playing that again. I had a break from it. I played it on and off for a couple of years, but now I've actually started playing it again. And yes, I started Saturday. You saw the beginning of the game actually, and I'm already up to level 12. You get pretty fast up in level. Actually further than I ever got before, which is kind of crazy. But that's the thing. With console games, with MMOs, I often get into it very much at the beginning, and then it kind of dies out. But I'm hoping to stay focused on the game. There are some issues with the game, and I'm gonna mention a few of them. One is that there's no auto tracking of quests. When you take on a new quest or mission, you have to go into the to missions and select it before you start tracking it. Also, if it's a multi path quest, you have to go select it again. For instance, if you cleared out an area and you then have to go back for your reward, you actually have to select the quest deselects itself and you have to select it again, which is kind of stupid. Another thing I am really pissed about is the fact that your reload, you have a really, really weird reload that gets cancelled all the time. If you do some kind of weird movement while reloading, it cancels. And I guess that's realistic, but the problem is, most of the time when you reload, you're actually close to enemies because you just finished shooting enemies and you need to reload to shoot more. So you have to move, but whenever you move, you cancel the reload and it has to reload, start over. And that's just horrible gameplay. But other than that, it's a really, really fun game. It doesn't have that much to it. It's a very minimal game, but I still love it. It's a very sexist game, actually. As you know, I chose a female character. Later on in the game, you can make a custom character. You have some. You have at first you have some fixed classes where you, as you want, I had where you take on where you get some really cool clothes. But then you can make a custom class where you start where you can give it skills and stuff like that from different classes. But the clothes you get is so if you're a woman in the game, and I chose a female character, well, then you can only have really, really feminine clothes, like high heels. Come on, who the fuck goes into a combat zone in high heels? Yeah, it's really in that way really sexist. And that is, and also there really isn't that much clothes and stuff. You have to very quickly, if you want some of the nicer clothes and even weapons and equipment, you have to pay. Yeah, it's a very very pay to win game, and I don't think that is going to change. because I think the owners of the game is very ultra capitalistic. So yeah, that's an issue. But anyway, that's current games for now. I'm going to move out into the village where, as usual, nothing has changed. I really need to start building again, but this week's reason is that, and this is a good reason, a lot of new series this week. This week, actually, I'm starting multiple new series for my channel, so that has been taking up a lot of time and other stuff as well. But I am planning on starting to build again, so don't worry. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. It's true. It's true. I am planning on it. I just don't get around to it. So, where are all the villages? Let's get into first person. What the? What's the sound? Oh, there's sound. I can hear that. There's some villages. Where are all the other villages gone to? Hello? I just broke your door. I apologize. Let's put in another door. Here you go. I'm sorry about that. That was rude of me. I just did it again. There we go. Hi. Oh, you want to get out? I don't know. You want to in or out? Oh God, damn it. Okay. Get rid of this again. There we go. What? But where are all the villages? Seriously, have they despawned or something? Let's go around and looking for them. There's still a guy in here, but all the ones just running around seem to be. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, are you the guy who just came in from? Uh, yeah, but still. Are you like merging with the door? Okay, I take that as a yes. Anyway, due to me being very, very busy with a lot of new series starting up this week, I have once again decided to go with a really that personal or deep subject for up close and personal, but hopefully still interesting. I have chosen, now that I've been talking a lot about different movies I like, so I thought, why not do TV shows? I watch TV shows, and there's a lot of great ones out there. So let's talk a little bit about TV series or series. It doesn't have to be TV series. Actually, I don't watch them on TV. I usually watch them on the internet or on DVD. So yeah, TV series. My favorite TV series of all time, I'm not going to talk about, but I am going to mention it quickly. It is Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's my favorite series of all time. But I'm going to consider that to be just several movies, since there's a whole movie in each episode. Sometimes cut a little down, but n- not really that much. So I already mentioned that in a previous episode, the episode where I talked about bad movies. But that is my favorite series of all time. I think my second favorite series, or at least one of my ones really up there, is Red Dwarf. For those of you who haven't watched Red Dwarf, do it. It's a British sci-fi comedy series about some people who are stranded in space far into the future, where mankind might or might not have been gone. It's a really, really, really amazingly fun show, and it's sci-fi and comedy. You don't really see that often, at least not done that well. We have other sci-fi comedy series like I can't even think of any. At least not any that takes place in space. We have Third Rock from the Sun with John Lithgow and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's kind of that's sci-fi in a way, but it's not in space, so I don't really count it as true sci-fi. But Red Dwarf is an amazing show. It's British, and the British make amazing TV series. Their humor is just wow. Like some stuff like Bottom and the Young Ones, Black Books, My Hero, My Family, Men Behaving Badly. We have Blackadder, always everybody knows Blackadder. We have the IT Crowd, just amazing. The Mighty Boosh, one of my other really favorite show. Only 3 seasons, but that's actually pretty standard for British comedy series. They don't like have more than 3 or 4 seasons with 6 episodes per season or something like that. But the Mighty Boosh, really great show with Noel Fielding. Really bizarre and strange series, but that's what makes it really awesome. I also like another great show I like is Lost. I really love Lost. And when first Lost was like sent and broadcasted on Danish television, I didn't really watch it. I watched a couple of episodes and a couple of and like the commercial for it, and it didn't really seem like something I would be into. But as I actually started watching it later, I really got into it and I really love it. I have all the series on DVD, and it's a really amazing show. It's I need to rewatch it soon, but there's so many series I haven't yet watched. Right now, I'm actually watching Twin Peaks. I'm kind of stuck in the series. That's what happens when I watch series. I kind of get into them, but then I kind of forget about them again. Not because they bore me, but because I have a short attention span. So suddenly something else interests me, and then something else interests me. This channel is probably the one thing that I've stuck with for the longest time ever, and this is like only a little over a year now. Um, but yeah, and it's good actually training for me to get more better attention span, to more concentrate on things, be more focused. So that's one of the good things about me having this YouTube channel. Other than me just being entertained about it. But yeah, Lost is a great show, um, and a lot of TV shows, in my opinion, gets cancelled too early. And like for instance, one of some of the greatest shows ever, some of is were cancelled. Firefly was cancelled after just 1 season. Freaks and Geeks was cancelled after just 1 season. Uh, Jericho was actually cancelled after just 1 season, but because of a lot of protests or something like that, they actually gave it 7 more episodes. That wasn't as good as the original series because I think kind of they were forced to make the story end in those 7 episodes. But Jericho was an amazing show. I really loved that, but it was cancelled way too early. Heroes was cancelled early, but to be honest, Heroes was the first season was amazing. The second season was okay. Just a minute. Uh, weather clear, clear, clear. Oh my foot, it itches. It's asleep. Oh god. But yeah, the second season of Heroes was okay. It was entertaining. Then the third season, I got like three episodes into it, and I just said, no, this is just bull. And then they made like a fourth episode. Fourth season. I do, however, plan to kind of like watch it all. Maybe I was misjudging it. I don't know. But yeah, that was other shows I like CSI. I like all the shows like like CSI and Bones and Criminal Minds and stuff like that. I really enjoy those detective shows, but more like those crime shows, modern ones. I don't really like stuff like Columbo and Sherlock Holmes are good as well, but I prefer the more, I don't know, like modern take on it, where it's more a group of people, a police, rather than just a lone detective. Um, uh, Times that day. Uh, and then of course there's all the animated shows, and those can be put into different categories as well. We have the animated for kids, we have the animated for grown up, but then we have anime, which is a combination of both. Let's talk about some of the cartoons I grew up with. Transformers, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, Mask, Jason the Wheeled Warriors, stuff like that. And it's amazing, and it's still amazing to this very day. And I think cartoons back then were so much better than the ones we get now. That might just be my opinion, but I don't know. Then we have like more for more adult people, for adults, we have like stuff like Family Guy and Futurama, really awesome. Simpsons, which used to be awesome. I haven't watched it in a little while though, but I stopped watching it because it was just getting a little bit too boring, too repetitive. I don't know. Talking about repetitive Family Guy, but I don't know. Family Guy did it on purpose. Used reused a lot of the jokes and stuff like that. So that was a different. It was differently. Then we have anime, which I really got back into. I've always been a big fan of anime movies, but never really watched a lot of the shows. But I watched like Elfen Lied and I think it was called Toradora, kind of like a romantic comedy anime series. Really, really fun and really good, great. And I'm currently watching Cowboy Bebop, which is amazingly. And I watched a bit of Robotech growing up, but to be honest, I think I was a little too young when I watched it, and also those Transformers and Robotech, like, they were in the TV at the same time, not literally the same time, but at the same period when I was growing up, and they were pretty much the same. A lot the same because it was about robots turning into things and stuff like that. And I just preferred Transformers, which I still do. But I am planning on someday watching the all of the Robotech, which is I think there's a lot of it. But yeah, I think that's it for the series. I mean, I really one thing I wish about series is when they get cancelled, instead of just saying, "Oh, that's a shame," make it into a web series, or maybe direct to DVD stuff like that. People will buy it, and I think I can't remember the show. I think it was that show called Arrested Development. Not really sure. I never watched it, but I think that show was actually or some other show. They continued on like Netflix after their network canceled it, and it's kind of weird. A lot of the in the U.S. This is not me saying that this might happen. This might happen other places. I've just heard about it in the U.S. because most of the big TV series are from the U.S. But yeah, I've heard that in the U.S. feel like in the U.S. they cancel the show if they don't get results like instantly. But sometimes a series needs to like grow on people. Like Firefly and Freaks and Geeks are now considered some of the best series ever. It might, and, but they were cancelled really early. But it might have been different if they had continued. That's hard to say. Maybe they ruined it like they did with. Oh, I dropped a pen that doesn't work. Does this pen work? Excuse me. While I nope, it doesn't work. It's an old pen. Um, sorry, got distracted by pens. Um, but yeah, but there's a lot of great TV shows out there. I really just wish that I was more focused so I could get through more. Because I I have a lot of series that I've started but never finished, including stuff like X Files, Supernatural, Dexter. Supernatural, I mean, I can't finish that because that show's still ongoing, but I didn't really get through it. Fringe, I started but never finished. Like Twin Peaks, I'm currently watching, although I haven't watched it like in a week or so. But I am planning on doing it because it seems like a great show. I know it's a little weird that I haven't watched it yet, especially when you consider how big a fan of movies and stuff like that I am, because TV series is basically movies where the story is longer. So that's one of the benefits of TV shows, but unfortunately, they it seems like TV shows isn't really movies longer because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but most TV shows just seems a little too random. I don't know how to explain this, but yeah, I would like to see a TV shows planned out as a movie. I rather see, and that was a good thing about Elfen the anime, because that show would like pick up the episodes would pick up just where the last one left off, and it was actually more of a long. You could probably splice them all together, and you would have a movie. Most TV shows you wouldn't do that. You couldn't do that with because there's like, oh, now we skip forward in time, and now we have this and that and blah blah blah. I still enjoy TV series. Don't get me wrong, I really do. I do, but I would always mostly prefer movies because the better stories is told in movies. I think. Anyway, I think this is it for up close and personal. And we're going directly to another media, and that is, of course, movies. And why am I going here? Oh, this is hard to control, but I think I'm getting better at it. Let's go in here. Oh. Ah! Ah, don't look up my pants. Pervs. Oh, here we go. And I bet this is... Ah, I forgot to turn it off. Dude. Hey, you two. Like, like the old men from Muppet Show. What's it called? Waldorf and Statler. It's just complaining about the movies. Oh, I should do a show with that. Anyway, movie of the week. Actually, this whole week, almost since last Tuesday, I have not watched one single movie, except for one. Yesterday, I watched my first movie in over a week. And the cool thing about it, it actually classified as movie of the week because it was bloody amazing. It's a French movie directed by Jean-Pierre Melville, and it's called from 1967. It's called La Samurai or The Samurai. It's not about samurais. It's a movie about a hitman, a really really professional hitman who unfortunately gets um, fucks up basically. He's seen. There are witnesses to his crime, and now he has to deal with this. It's a very, very amazing movie. It's Jean-Pierre Melville. I saw one movie of his earlier called Le Dol, um, which is, I think, did I talk about that? I think I talked about that at some point. Anyway, but yeah, Le Samurai is amazing. Now here we actually, I'm gonna give you a little movie history because I feel like this is important for now. Because, well, movie history. Back in the 1930s and 40s, in the US, there were a movie genre called film noir. It was most, and I've actually done a video about film noir, and it's mostly like some dark stories, like crime stories with some plot twists and some really well done characters. But this was a genre. This in the 19 mostly in the 30s and the 40s in the US, it has continued on, but not as much as it did back then. So when that genre died out in the ending of the 40s, or maybe in the beginning of the 50s, it started dying out. Then instead of just dying totally out, the French and Italian and stuff like that started making a kind of film noir genre instead. Like, for instance, one of them being Jean-Pierre Melville. And they continued the tradition of the film noir genre. Then, and then in the US, they started making a lot of cheesy sci-fi movies and a lot of campy comedies and musicals and stuff like that. Hollywood was basically dying. It was horrible. There was a few great movies, but most of the movies coming out of Hollywood in the late 50s, in the 50s and the 60s were kind of campy. Not most, but a lot of them at least. So when the studio system broke down in the late 60s, the weird thing is a lot of American directors, mostly new directors, looked to the French directors, like Jean-Pierre Melville and Godard, and Italian directors like Fellini and stuff like that. They looked to them for inspiration, which is kind of weird because they had in years earlier looked to the American cinema from the 30s and the 50s. So it's kind of imitating itself. Like we started out with the film noir in the 50s, in the 30s and 40s, which inspired a lot of the French and Italian directors in the 50s and 60s, which inspired the American directors in like the 70s. And then the 80s came, and that was just, oh god. And the 90s came, and holy shit, a lot of great movies. And now, well, yeah, Hollywood is once again dying. And instead of looking for inspiration in the French and Italian and Asian directors, they just bloody remake their movies. Great job, Hollywood. You really fucking it up. But yeah, The Samurai by Jean Pierre Melville is an amazing movie which I highly recommend you watch. It's from 1967, and it's just a great told story with a lot of if you don't like movies that are like very slow paced, then this is probably not for you. I enjoy slow paced movies. Well, I enjoy fast paced movie as well, but if a slow paced movie is done well, then it's awesome. And the same goes for, well, basically, if movies are done well, they're awesome. So yeah, this was movie of the week. Let's get out of this minecart. Ta-da! And back into first person. Bye, guys. I can't open. Oh, never mind. Oh, ta-da! Let's actually turn this off. Do 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 do. Okay, and let's get back to le studio. That's French for the studio. I don't know if that is French. I don't speak French. My French teacher died. That's actually not. That's sad, but she did, and they didn't have any other people at my school that could teach French. So I only got half a year, and that was in like elementary school. And even if I had had more French, I would probably have forgotten all about it by now. So we come to the last part of the show, which is the spotlight, where I talk about another YouTube channel. And this time, the spotlight is a channel I found. I was about to say recently. It's a while ago, but it's one of the ones I found like lately, latest. Late, I don't know. It's called Tad's Top Videos, and it's a channel that mostly, well, only do top videos, like top 10, top 30, top 13, top 50. The longest I think is top 110. And they do it differently. It's mostly video games, but I think there are some movie stuff as well. And recently they did, I haven't watched it yet. They did a one about weird government projects. But yeah, a lot of the great video game top lists. And what's really great about these is that they don't do it just as generically as most others. If you look at, for instance, let's say top 10 horror games, and you find that on like different channels, it's almost always the same 10 games. It seems that, and it's always like well-known games, top big games and stuff like that. Whereas Tad's top videos, they include more obscure games that people don't really know, and that's what I like about this channel. They did like the longest one I haven't actually seen. It's like, I think it's called Top 110 Most Goriest Games, and it's like an hour and a half, which I am gonna watch it. I think that's awesome that they do some stuff like that. It's and they did top, like I said, top something I can't remember, but top scariest game glitches, Easter eggs, and a lot of different really fun videos to watch. They do multiple commentators. They have different people talking in all the videos, and that's pretty cool. So check out their channel, Tad's Top Videos. It's an amazing channel. Especially, I must say, it's mostly gaming. So if you like gaming, and if it's a great channel, and you get an inspiration. You can get inspiration for games you might never have heard of through their channel. They do other top 10, I always say top 10 because that is the usual one. That's the most frequently used top list. But yeah, they do other top lists and games, but I think it's mostly games, and that don't bother me because, well, I love gaming, which is why I have a gaming channel. So that makes sense, right? So yeah, this is the Mikkel Frost Show for now. I hope you enjoyed this show. I enjoyed making it for you. Um, if you like what you see, press the like button, give me a thumbs up, and if you don't like it, well, then just move on with your life. Don't take it so seriously. Uh, comment if you have anything to comment about. Um, oh yeah, check out my movie list. I should have mentioned that earlier. My movie list should be updated by now. I'm gonna update it. Oh, are you kidding me? My movie list. I haven't updated my movie list in like a week or so. In a week? What am I talking about? Like 3 weeks. But I'm gonna update it now. And if you haven't checked, check it out. Leave a comment on my movie list if you like that. Not here, but on my movie list. If you have any questions or if you have any comments or just say that hey, I saw that movie because of your movie list. That would actually make me happy. But yeah, like, favorite, comment, subscribe to my channel. There's lots of fun coming up in the future. Like I said earlier, I've started a new series. This is not normally what I talk about in this video, but I think I just need to point out that a new series was started yesterday, where I started a new Fallen Earth series, a more immersive, a more plot-based, story-based walking playthrough of Fallen Earth, the Sarah Jinx Chronicles. So go check that out. But I'll see you next Tuesday for more of the Mikkel Frost Show, and I'll see you tomorrow for more gaming. Stay safe, enjoy life, and yeah, stuff. Bye.